Hello, and this is Serenity.WAD, a 1994, specifically September of 1994, episode replacement for Doom 1. One of the first episode replacements for Doom 1. It may be the first. I don't know what the first is, as far as full episodes. I'm not actually sure, but it's one of the first. And it's really fun. I had a great time. The video that you're watching currently is a compilation of all 8 levels from Serenity, and I'm going to be doing commentary over the records. The first room in the first level here, as you're watching, this is the first map. Pretty simple, pretty basic. There is a radiation suit in the secret at the start, and that basically makes it so that you don't need to follow that dark silhouetted path in the opening area, because it is kind of a damaging floor. But we're way past that, so who cares? There's a barrel that I was trying to shoot there. Did not, didn't really go so well, so I don't want to talk about that barrel. But I like this room here. I like the nukage floor that rises and it's not damaging. Very cool. This WAD has a lot of, like, shit in it. That's a nice barrel. That's, like, really fucky. There's a lot of broken monsters. There's a lot of broken secrets. And, of course, it's from 1994, so what are you going to expect them to do? Play their own game and get 100% in their own game? At least once? People didn't do that in 1994. In fact, I'm relatively sure that people don't do that now. But that's a different story. So you're seeing me shoot at this wall, kind of like a stupid person. Now you might be thinking, are you a stupid person? That's what you might be thinking. You probably should be thinking that, because without the explanation, it is very clear that this is something a stupid person would do. And you'll see very soon, but there's like a small hole in the wall, and there's 2 monsters that are like stuck inside of each other, right there, that hole, and they can't move. So, but what you can do is from down there, if you're in just the right position, you can actually kill one of them, and then the other can go through the teleport mechanism. So, I believe, I want to say it was Pseudonaut who did a run of this before I picked it up, the record I beat. And they had this trick in their run there, so shoutouts to them for finding it, or at least being the first one to put it in a max run. And right here, I don't exactly know what the exit line is. It's very weird. There is an exit line in here. It's kind of strange. But also what you're seeing is a giant S. S for Serenity. And one nice kill, by the way. One of the cool things about Serenity is that every level has got, like, I don't want to say a secret or hidden, but, like, it's an Easter egg where every level has one of the letters corresponding to the mission number, and the letter in, like, you know, the number of letters in Serenity. So, you know, the next one's going to have an E, then an R, and so on and so forth. So this is map 2 here. And once again, like, this WAD is a 1994 WAD, so there's just lots of those 1994 isms all over the place. And this may be, I actually think, as far as, like, levels that contain 1994 isms, this one may be the best at that, because it's just fucking weird. It's a weird level. So this is like a movie theater with, and what is that, like Alien on the big screen? I don't even know what's going on. There are, like, new textures in Serenity, but there's, like, they're very rarely used, so to see one there is, like, really strange. I think that's Alien. I didn't get a good look at it. But it could be something else. I'm not sure. But again, one of the reasons why I love this level so much is because it's got these giant fucking open gray rooms. You'll see them in just a second here. And for the route here, I try to clear out as much as I can as early as possible. Because this level does have, like, a, you know, the big room. There's, like, windows you saw earlier. You can kind of get some of those guys to infight, so, like, you know, and you can go there sooner than later, but I don't know, it's one of those things where I think it is more efficient to just clean everything up and hope that they infight a little bit. See, so they can see you through the windows up there. Sometimes they shoot at you, but, like, they're kind of shooting upward. There's this, like, really popular meme out there that suggests that Doom is not 3D, that it's somehow a 2D game that pretends to be 3D. And that's total horseshit, because the Z-axis is very much so important when it comes to getting infighting. in this section here. So if that's something that you have said or believed, that is not true. There is a Z axis in Doom. It's just that monsters are infinitely tall because they didn't feel like calculating all the what-if scenarios. And by the way, there's an E in the center of that room. So just throwing that out there, Doom is in fact a 3D game. And this ending here has a glitched secret. This secret right here you're about to see, I don't know why it's a secret. It's a weird thing to make that a secret because there is another secret on the map. So normally you would think, oh, it's a secret so that you tag it, you hit 100%, because in vanilla, if there were 0 secrets, you'd show 0% on the screen here. So people in the 90s would put fake secrets on their levels that and there was no a secret is revealed splash text or anything as well. And so that secret, though, is, by the way, I love the music for this one. But just hold on. That secret is, when you hit the switch, the sector moves and changes and absorbs the properties of the nearby sector, thus making the secret go away. Therefore, you would get 0 out of, or 1 out of 2 if you got that. I don't know about that map or why that secret exists, but I love the music selection for Serenity. And, let's just watch it. Let's just have fun here. Let's just enjoy. God damn. They simply, and I say this with all sincerity, do not make them like they used to. The block map here is a little bizarre. You gotta be very particular with how you shoot these guys. This secret is a little awkward. I probably do this in an order that's not ideal, but hey, whatever. And one thing I love about the music selection for this WAD is that, again, the music, it's not just like silly like midis that reference like movies or popular songs. Like the first map was Nirvana. And there's a couple other good ones in here too. But it's just like the MIDI like choice selection that they had was so limited back in the 90s, you know, because you're relying on who sequenced the fucking Beverly Hills Cop MIDI in 1994. I don't know, but they did a great job, I can tell you. So like a lot of the times, if you were to find this this cheesy, you know, popular movie or popular whatever music in a Doom WAD, you'd be getting a little bit more of like a polished rendition. But man, those MIDIs back in the 90s are awesome. So the music pack for Serenity is optional. A lot of the times older WADs would bundle the music in a separate WAD because then it's like, oh, you can use this when you play Doom 1, or like, you know, it's kind of like they would bill it as you know, not everyone did this, but you see it commonly in Serenity, stuff like Memento Mori as well. One, there is like concern about single WAD size, although that's not super big of a concern. But then also it's like, yeah, this is a soundtrack. You can load this with Doom if you want. It just so happens that we also made a map set. So that's kind of the philosophy. But of course you gotta play Serenity with the Axel Foley theme song. That is, you know, you'd have to be someone who is, needless to say, not of sound mind if you were to play this without the Axel Foley theme song. It really just, it makes me feel like I'm a cop in Beverly Hills. That's what it makes me feel. A Detroit cop, I should be very particular. By the way, here's another letter. This is the R. It might not look like it, but it is. I don't know what that, like, here, let me rewind. I don't know, like, what this texture is. Is that like a chain? What the fuck even is that? What? Like, the texture, the new graphics in Serenity, they're very rarely used, but they're fucking weird, man. They're very strange. 8%, this is scary. The Berserk Fist, it's the way to go. I really should have just finished them off with the Berserk Fist, but I was like, I got 8%, I'm scared. I'm really scared. Not good. Probably could have done better, but I was really scared. This run, like I remember this one, it's kind of annoying. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. This ending here is kind of scary. There's a lot of fisting in this run, so I was like, 8%, I'm gonna call it here, you know, whatever, man. This MIDI is going insane right now, I'm just listening. Oh yeah? Mm-hmm. Incredible. I love this boxer room, by the way. Like, it's just... Like, the level design of these WADs, like, in this era, I should say, is just so wholesome. You have this nukage tunnel, and then you just go up a really thin staircase, crate room, and then here's the exit. It's just a random teleport. Like, nonsense. Total and utter nonsense from start to finish. And that's what I love about 1994 WADs, man. Like, this is some excellent stuff. Just absolutely superior and superb. So pretty much everything to come out afterward. But coming up next is the 4th mission of Serenity. Serenity also, by the way, takes place in the 3rd episode slot. You see this a lot in 1994 WADs, where WADs will not replace... A lot of them do. There are exceptions. But this is something you see a lot in 1994 and even 95, are WADs that occupy episode 2 or episode 3 levels or slots, because they wanted to ensure that you would need the original registered copy of Doom and not the shareware copy of Doom. There was this concern floating around at that time that if you release so many things for episode 1 and they're compatible with the shareware, that somehow that would affect the sales of Doom. I don't know. I don't know if anyone on id ever said anything to that effect, or if it's just people being hyper paranoid. I don't know. But even though Serenity is a series, there are 2 sequels to Serenity. I believe they're called Eternity and Infinity. I could be wrong. And they take up episode 2 and 1. I don't know which one is which. And those came out later in 94 or early 95. But, you know, they did make the first one for episode 3. You know, interesting. This room here, I played around with a route that gets the Berserk early on for that room. But I just had so many problems with it. And then this Crusher room, I hated this one, man. Oh, no! Not good. I was, sipping on some seltzer there, so I apologize for my bizarre noises that I was making there. Now, you might not see what's about to happen by looking at this room. This is a total normal looking room, but it's gonna change. It's gonna change. So you go down here, you click the wall, and then this floor goes up. And by the way, this is all like apparently a secret area, because whatever. This is fucking weird. Like, who can't... Okay. So there's a pit, you fall in the pit, you click the wall, and then the pit goes up, and you need to go down here. You might be thinking, well, why bother going down here? You need to kill these guys, and this is a secret. Fucking incredible. Like, again, you do not see anything like that. Even some, like, there are people, myself included, that love doing, like, emulation of 1994. By the way, that's an E. Also could look like a W or an M. But it's an E, I promise. Because this is Serenity. But like, you know, something like that, it's really hard to replicate the genius that was at stake. And I say that with sincerity. You know, I'm not trying to belittle authors in 1994. It's just like, to me, it's just really wholesome. It's really funny. It's really interesting. When I see that kind of stuff, like, a lot of people, the lowest common denominator of Doom players would see stuff like that, and they go, oh, it's so bad, it's garbage, oh my god, garbage, garbage, everything's garbage, I hate everything. But when I see something like that, I'm thinking, like, and from a gameplay perspective, doing a speedrun, like, I have to sit there in that hole every time for like 15 seconds in the middle of the demo, and it's just like, why? What? For what purpose? And that's, you know, it's like, it's a moment for you to reflect. And this maze, not too difficult to learn the maze. It's got a pretty simple, you know, algorithm, I guess. But like, it's, you know, a little area you fall into, you wait 10, 15 seconds, and you just sit there and you think about your life. You know, nowadays, modern Zoomer Doomers, they don't want to think about their lives. They want levels that have no breaks, no lifts, no doors, non-stop action, just BFG everything until you have to go to bed for you know, and then you wake up in the morning and you start BFGing again. I don't know what I'm saying, by the way. Just bear with me. These Lost Souls can be frustrating because, you know, they're not required for 100%. Of course, Serenity was made during the V1666 days, so I think they might have been required in 1666. I'm not, oh, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they're only required in like 1.2 for 100%. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I'm not that much of an expert on older versions. I'm sorry. I always played 1.9 as a kid, okay? There are 4 secret sectors that are fucked up, by the way, so you can only get 69% secrets. And that's how, again, you know it's good. Like, it's almost like you have to say, is there a level of intentionality here? I'm not sure. So now we hit my favorite level, and probably you immediately know why. This level, man, this is probably the best level in the game. It's bizarre. It's hard, but not for like the reason you would think. It's strange, and it's atmospheric, and you know, it might just be because of the music, and also because I was playing this at like 2 a.m. But like, goddamn, man, like you have this like ash wall, little corridor here. You have those like cages at the start, and you might be thinking, well, you got a lot of shells here. You got a lot of, but the thing about this map that was so difficult is there's so much ammo like front loaded, and then there's like almost no ammo for the rest of the level. So you have to really count your shots. But like, for most of the run, you feel like you have too many shots, right? But then like you just slowly run out as you get closer and closer to the end. It's interesting. I cannot at all suggest that that was intentional design. They probably just didn't really care about the ammo or whatever. But, and then you got this weird ass like collection of hallways. Amazing, amazing. I got goosebumps right now just playing this. I'm not even playing, I'm just watching it and listening, but you know, that's a whole separate story. Like, just think about this, like, you know, Twin Peaks was like 5 years old when these bitches were making Serenity. Think about that for a second. I totally fucked that up. I was trying to wait for the shotgunner to get closer to the cage so that you could grab the shotgun on the corpse to get the extra shells, but that did not end up working. All right, get the infighting there. Again, shells are a little bit of a concern, so you want to make sure that you get some infighting back up if you can. I love the hanging corpses in here. And of course, just the single barreling a Baron in here. It's in a cage, it can't follow you. It's just awesome. Like, this is what I played. Like, a lot of people, oh, the last shell, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Like, to me, and I say this as someone who's been playing Doom since I was like 2 or 3 years old. Like, there are pictures of me as a toddler, as a young baby, on my grandpa's lap while he's playing Doom, and I got my hand on the mouse, right? So, I would love to see that picture again. It's been a long time since I saw it, but, there's a shell box back here. You got to make sure you don't pick it up when you come down here, otherwise you'll waste like 10 or maybe even more shots, that you desperately need, by the way. But I say this as someone who has been playing Doom literally my entire life. I love this shit. Like, 1994 WADs, like, just the bizarreness, the strange behavior, like, when it comes to making a level, like, and by the way, here's the letter. What is this, N? I think so, yeah. Serenity, yes, that's right. There is an N in Serenity. And like the thing about that pillar in the middle that lowers down, it's like one of the line defs lowers it. It's really weird which one it is. You kind of have to look for it. It's very strange. But I just, like, again, just this room, the spiral stairs, just everything, and then that gives you back to the start. Like, this is fucking awesome. I love levels that bring you back to the start halfway through the level, and the way that they do it is just fantastic. The music is really good. There's so many goddamn motherfucking lost souls. You got these cages with the trees in them that clip through the ceiling, but they don't clip through the ceiling because we're in software mode, so you can just kind of see them in this. It's just everything that's happening on screen. This crusher that's there just to waste your time. Like, I mean, it's wow. I don't know what to say. as evident by the fact that I just stopped talking for a couple of seconds. I just don't know what to say. Gotta watch out for these lost souls. And again, out of ammo, but I almost forgot about that guy there. Like I said, it doesn't feel like when you have the 50 shells right at the start, it doesn't feel like there'd be any starvation mechanism here, but it's really tight. It's really tight. 12 shots left, you know, you're really counting every one. And that was some bad, ooh, this is terrible. Oh my God, ah! Horrible. And the lights turning out, with the lights being on behind the cages, illuminating the imps. Fuck. This shit is good, man. This is good stuff. This hallway, by the way, with the lights, oh my God, just the lighting here is just like, it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. And a lot of the times when you hear people compliment old levels, they'll say something like, this is really good for 1994. No, this is just straight up really good. Like, this is a fucking fantastic map set. It's really fun to get lost in. It's bizarre. You don't know what to expect. And that's the thing, is like, you know, a lot of modern Doom playing, there's a lot of like, you know what's gonna happen. Like when I play a level nowadays, there's so much that like is so easily predictable. And I don't say that as a negative. I love being able to like predict, oh yeah, that's gonna open up later. Oh yeah, I hit that switch, that probably does it. I love being able to predict that. To me, I find that to be a fun part of the skill of learning and playing games like this. But like just something about 94 WAD, sometimes you open a door and you never know what to expect. It could just be a giant red room on the other side, you know, like I'm almost out of ammo here. I have to pistol the Baron. Ah! A perfect ending to a perfect map. I fucking love this shit. But again, you never know what's going to be on the other side of a door when you're playing some shit like Serenity. And again, this is my favorite level. I don't know. Something about it. I don't know. Whoops. Accidentally started the same one again. How strange. And so here we have, what is this, 7? No, 6. This level has also got some really fantastic, like 1994 vibes. The slad wall, on every wall, that is a common, you see that a lot in old WADs. I don't know, they just love slad wall. I don't know what, it's something crazy about it, I guess. All these like little doors that go to like these small rooms that are seemingly meaningless. Like the shapes and sizes of these rooms is just fucking bizarre. You can't even like there's like a little corner there. You can't even really get into the corner. It's just, why is it there? Who knows? Fucking bizarre. It's so strange. You know, I don't know what this song is. The MIDI rendition is really bizarre. So it seems somewhat familiar, but I can't think about what this one is. It's not as memorable of a track as the other one so far, to me personally. But the MIDI is strange, very strange. I love these lights. Once again, the sector beams of light coming from the floor lamp thing. You don't see that a lot nowadays. Often I see like, you know, just the light texture emitting beams of light. I mean, that's the more, you know, you see that all the time. But I don't know, just something about the floor lamp being that powerful, man. Something else. So one thing about learning levels like Serenity, and this is honestly like, Serenity was pretty easy to learn compared to a lot of 1994 stuff, is it's hard to learn a level like this to do a speedrun, just because there are so many like rooms that just like bleed together in strange ways. And especially this level, everything has that slad wall kind of like green weirdness going on. There's the eye, by the way, but I was just standing on, that's the eye. They made the eye like one of those lowercase eyes. And it's all fancy. It's got the serifs and everything. Or serif. This ain't saying serif, I'll tell you that much. But like, learning this level, it was kind of, like, a little scary on the outset. But the way, and maybe I'll make, like, let me know in the comments if this sounds interesting to you, but maybe I'll make a video that details how I learn a new level. You know, like, from start to finish. When I do demos, it's usually, unless it's like a WAD I've played before, which is very rare, it's usually going to be the first time I load up the level. And all of these took me about maybe 30 minutes to an hour, from the first time I hit the enter key to load the game and getting the record for them. A lot of these records were not super recent or up to date. Some of them were really old, like from the early 2000s. Some of them were really recent, like from 2020 something, you know. But I did get all 8 records, and it, you know, I did take a couple breaks in the middle of it, but these weren't terribly difficult. There's a couple tricks that I use when it comes to learning levels and not getting lost, and I didn't use them there, because you can see I kind of got turned around a little bit. But that's not important right now. And you gotta wait for this. I don't strictly know if there's a better way to do this section where you don't have to wait for this. To be honest with you, I didn't end up playing around too much with it, but there might be a better way. One thing that I really enjoy about Serenity is that there's fucking lost souls all over the goddamn place. And of course, for Doom speedruns, we don't count lost souls because they don't count. id Software was like, what if they just weren't monsters? And then they just made them not monsters, they're decorations. So, that's pretty fun. But there's just so many lost souls. All of these rooms are secrets, but not the stairs. And that's an interesting thing to note, is that they made all this and then went back in and either unchecked the secrets on the stairs or checked the rooms as secrets only. Very interesting. This is where I get a little bit lost, you know. I'm sorry. You know, what are you gonna do? Oh. Yeah, I see, I can shoot these guys from right here, so probably don't need to do that. But, you know, my method when it comes to doing demos is I usually just go and I love this room, the aesthetic. Holy shit. Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh. We need a video game term for cinema. That's what we need, because that's what this is. But usually my method when it comes to doing demos is just to beat the record and move on. If I really enjoy the level, or if it's like there's such a huge fucking shithole mistake, I might re-record it to make it a better time. But I usually am just get the record and leave. That's generally my philosophy. I just like playing a lot of new stuff. I like cycling through a lot of new stuff. That's how I am. Maybe you're different. I don't know. But there you go. That's map 6. We got 2 more to go. 7 and 8. So this level has a glitched secret, but you also may notice there's 31 secrets, so that's really cool. The glitched secret is on the other side of this teleporter, and you can do a line skip. Now, the rules for Doom speedrunning when it comes to glitched secrets are very, I don't want to use the term inconsistent, and I also don't want to say poorly thought, because even though poorly thought, I think, is an accurate term, and you're going to love this room here. Look at all these secrets. You have to make sure you don't accidentally run down the stairs too quickly there. But I do think the Doom community ruling for glitched secrets and monsters is poorly thought, not in the sense that the rule is bad. It's just that there really is kind of no rule. Like, there's rule, like, let me just, so the secret is glitched in the sense that if you don't know about SR 40 or 50, you can't get the secret. It's just not going to happen. So you can argue from that perspective that you shouldn't need the secret. And I tell you, I got the glitch, you know, it's a glitch to unglitch something, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a double negative thing. So I got the wall run, or I don't even think it's a wall run, but I did get the line skip there. And so I did get the extra secret. But I was running this whether or not I got the secret. Because in my opinion, if the secret requires some sort of glitch to access it, I don't believe it should count. However, that secret is really easy to get because it's at the very beginning of the demo. It's like 10 seconds in, less than, if you're not killing some of the guys at the start. So can you really say that it's like, you know, a tall order to get the secret? And, you know, it does look better with 100% secrets, right? So again, it's poorly thought out in the sense that, like, no one, at least I, and people I've talked to about this, you know, you don't want to make a definitive, like, this is the way type ruling that would apply to all WADs. So it's kind of like a case-by-case basis, you know? And so, like, I have my argument for this level. Someone else might have another argument for this level. Like, you know, it's only 10 seconds in. You should just reset for it. And then, you know, my other argument of, like, well, technically, you can't get it without doing some other form of, like, a glitch. And then there's also, like, is strafe running really even a glitch? Like, are we really going to call it a glitch? And then it's, like, technically, I mean, it kind of is, but also it's a core game mechanic, too. Right? So, and what that leads to is usually just a lack of action. Right, so there's no, like, really, at least I didn't come on any specific ruling for that level. But in my opinion, I don't think the secret should count. But also, resetting for it, probably not that big of a deal. And the 100% secrets does look good. And it is the only glitched secret. So if this level had, like, 17 secrets that were glitched and, like, you know, that was just one of them, maybe it would be less important, but I don't know. 10 seconds in, you probably should go for it, but also it probably shouldn't be mandatory. That's just a large, you know, tangent, but, you know, let me know what you think about that one. I'll outsource it to the community, capital T, capital C, the community, in the comments section down below, where you belong, in hell. You ever wonder about that? Or Australia, whichever one. That random fucking metal texture that's just offset weird, and that's actually a door for required progression. Not even marked as a secret, because it's not a secret. It's obvious. Yeah, sure, it's the same texture, but it's offset a little bit. Whatever. I like this room, just the wood. I love this wood texture, it's really good. And then just, I love tall rooms. There's so many, like, really tall rooms in 94 WADs. They just love making the ceiling go further than you can even fucking see. Just took another sip of seltzer. I don't know how audible my sipping sounds are, so I feel the need to explain them away, but it is possible, and I will not be checking before I publish this, but it is possible that they're not audible at all, and therefore I'm just explaining away nothing other than a sudden lack of speech. Very possible. I like this little area here. This is where you get a plasma gun. I like that there's windows here that you can see the rest of the wood hallway. Not the rest, but like a good solid point of the wood hallway. And then also, like, the window has the ceiling and floor flats are the teleporter for some fucking weird, like, strange fucking reason. Again, choices you would not be seeing in the modern day and age, I can assure you that. The end of this level is a little scary. There is a spider mastermind coming up, and there is a Baron and a Caco demon, and you want to get the Spider Mastermind to kind of infight with those guys and then have those guys help you out in the damage dealing so that you can keep a lot of this plasma. But, like, having that happen successfully is kind of, you know, it happens here. So, take it for what it's worth. But I did run into a lot of problems with it. It did, you know, it was very inconsistent. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's required to get the record in order to have really good infighting. I managed to beat the record by, I think it was Viper Killer. I managed to beat the record by like a second or so, and I did get really decent infighting. So, Not good, not great, but just really decent. I hope that you understand. It's not decent, it's really decent. There's another cell pack in that room, but I opted to skip it because I had just enough ammo here to do this section. And look at that, just enough, literally. And I managed to, if I would have gotten that extra cell pack, I wouldn't have beaten the record. So, and it was a last minute decision too. I kind of just like, you know, so you may have seen me walk in the room a little bit and then turn around, so. But anyway, that is Mission 7, Episode 3. Now I'm going to be taking a look at Mission 8. This is the final level, and it's got kind of that whole Phobos anomaly opening here that I enjoy. You have these weird, like, stained glass situations. There's 2 imps on one side and then 1 imp on the other side. That one really threw me off. There's another room. That red door goes to another room that has stained glass windows, and the imps in that room are, like, that are on the other side of the windows are fucked beyond belief. The pathfinding of one of those imps is so frustrating. So what I do is I open the door and I run over here, and I start shooting here. Now, if you'll notice, I'm gonna actually rewind and do this little trick here. So check this out. Notice these red on the outside? You see that guy right up there at the top? Right? You can't shoot them unless they're right at the bottom where these guys are. These 2 imps at the bottom. So I start shooting so that it moves over. Right? You're seeing it, and then you want to make sure. Otherwise, it'll start going onto the other side. It'll stay back here, and you can't really shoot them when they're back there. I'll rewind and show you this in a second. But like, that's why I do this weird-ass route. And I designed the entire route around that 1 imp. Because it is slower to run into that room and then run backwards and then run again and then run again. This is a slow route. If you don't, and there is a way where you just grind a better route and just get lucky with the imp and it doesn't fuck you over. And I did that until I got extremely frustrated. And I don't get frustrated when I play Doom very often. I'm a really, at least, you know, I don't want to oversell it, but I like to just keep my cool when I play this game. I try not to get frustrated at video games. I find it to be not helpful in life. You know, that's not to say it doesn't happen, but it's like, this one was really starting to kind of frustrate me because it's just so random. There's nothing you can do. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. If I just have to do a slightly slower route, and when I say slightly slower, I mean like maybe 10-15 seconds. And this is a tight run, so like 10-15 seconds is a big chunk of time that I sacrificed just for consistency. And once I got that, once I started doing the consistency method, which is like 80% success rate. Doing the faster route without the zig and the zag is like maybe a 20% success rate. Doing it with the zig and the zag gives you a much higher success rate. This is the ending. If that door closes, this one right here, you're stuck and the run's over. So that happened a couple times. But you want to sneak in there, get the invuln, come back. And then that thing says zap me, which is fucking weird. Like, what does that even mean? Zap me? I don't, huh? And there's imps on the other side of that stained glass. And then there's a cyber demon in a cage that's stuck. So you can get some really easy, clean damage. And also you have the invuln, so it's not too bad. You want to angle your shots so that they can get the imps on the other side of that stained glass. And also deal a good amount of damage to the shit that you're actually wanting to damage. And very lucky ammo there. Very lucky. Sometimes enemies go through this teleporter and they get stuck over here, so you have to like you can't rely on the enemy count there on the HUD entirely. And this is pretty much Serenity. This is the WAD. This is it. That's the Y, as you can see. The final battle. There is a Baron that is on the outside of the map, and one of the secrets is glitched, so you can't get 100% on this one. And when I say a Baron is outside the map, I mean it's literally outside the map. Like, I will show you, like, look at this. That's the Baron, right here. Now, could you maybe do a trick where you, like, plasma shoot through the wall in some fucked up method? Or, like, maybe kill the Spider Mastermind and then do, like, a quick void glide and then kill the guy in the void? Maybe? Maybe, but then it gets into that question that I mentioned earlier, where it's like, what's reasonable? What, like, and then it gets into, like, should it just be a diverged category? Like, UV max, parentheses, reasonable, or versus UV max, parens, actually max but is stupid fucking garbage, right? Like, how do you, and then it's also like glitched secrets. Should you expect a void glide to go in there and then like do that weird thing where you tag the secret from the void? I don't know if it's technically possible, but that's, you know, that's a whole conversation. It's really difficult. There's no clear answer, but that's just kind of the things that speedrunners talk about and think about. I don't talk about it. I don't talk about anything with anybody. I have no friends. You're all I have. But thank you for watching, and I'm sorry that I don't upload too much. Every time I do one of these videos, I have this burst of inspiration, and then I start doing a video, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of just like playing the game, you know, like I kind of just really like playing Doom. Also, this black screen's lasting a little bit too long, so I'm getting a little uncomfortable. Go subscribe to my speedrunning channel, and or don't, whatever. I feel like more people subscribe to that one than this one, so what does that say about me? Does that say I'm not funny? People would rather watch me play the game without talking than hear all my awesome commentary, all the really cool things that I come up with to say. I don't know. Anyway, bye.